Good morning, Alta Realty Group agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing, and today we've got a great webinar for you guys all about SEO for real estate. And I know SEO for a lot of people is like some kind of holy grail or purple elephant, but it's really not that bad. So we're going to dive right into it, and we're going to learn a lot about it. We're also joined, of course, by our corporate broker, Travis Breton. Good morning, Travis.
Good morning, Kevin.
And we are also joined by Bill Seitz, our Clearview Mortgage Liaison. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Kevin and Travis.
All right. So before we get into the meat of our presentation today, Bill, why don't you tell us what's going on in the mortgage world? I've got of course, your 10-year Treasury bond that I will bring up for you.
Yeah, I want to talk about the purple elephant, Kevin.
Okay. We'll get into that purple elephant real quick here.
That was funny. Anyways, good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's having a good start to their Wednesday. It's bright blue sky here in Newport Beach, and it's been a night of windy, nuclear springtime weather, which is really annoying if you just got your car washed, but it is nice to see that things are calming down. It blows my mind about how windy it gets in springtime, but I guess that's what happens.
Bill, you remember what it's like in the Central Coast in springtime.
Yeah, where you're at, it's a whole nother ballgame, but we kind of got close yesterday.
I bet.
Anyways, just good morning, everybody. Just wanted to apologize first and foremost about last week. I don't know how my audio came across to everybody last week, but it was a disaster on my end. And Kevin and I were trying to troubleshoot it. And we found out that I think that just with the new system, my audio is on twice. So it was on through my computer, and then I was also trying to do it through the phone. And I had this incredible echo, and I don't know.
I listened on the replay. It wasn't as bad as you would imagine, but when that happens to you, you feel like you're in some kind of like bad horror film
or a sane asylum. So, anyways, we got trouble. It's sounding much better on my end this morning. So I wanted just to. Wasn't sure if everyone was thinking the same thing that I was thinking last week. So it's good to be back in normal audio world this morning.
Yes.
Just real quick, just wanted to go over the rates. Rates have kind of fluctuated a little bit over the last 7 days, but they've kind of come back down to where they were last week. It's been a good little time to get some refinances and people that are looking for cash out or consolidating debt. If you have any clients that maybe are looking at high credit card balances, they own a home, they've had a home for the last few years, it could be a good time to kind of reset that stuff. So rates are still really good, and it's nice to see them kind of coming back down after a little bit of a climb early or late last week. Next week, I'm going to do a little presentation on government loans. Some of you are probably pretty familiar with VA and FHA loans, but I think it's good to revisit it just since we probably don't do those types of transactions. Some of us do FHA fairly regularly because they're typically new home buyers, first-time buyers, 3.5% down, easy to get into those properties. But there are some things that we need to be aware of doing those loans. And then another one is the VA loans. VA loans are an amazing way for veterans to get into properties with zero money. So I think we're going to put together a little presentation on that for next Wednesday. So that's it for me this morning, Kevin, and looking forward to hearing what you have to say about the SEO world.
Heck yeah. So SEO, many people don't know what that even stands for. So SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And so as you can imagine, search engine optimization and making your website rank in the search engine results is very important for all businesses because, as we know, most people are searching for stuff, especially real estate, on the internet. So this is highly contested space. So let me just give you a little example. So if we do a search for Newport Beach real estate, who shows up? And these right here, let's just all take a look at the Google search results pages. So type in something, this happens. So these top ones, you see the little ad next to them. These are advertisements. These guys paid to be there. They're not there because of search engine optimization. They're there because they paid Google AdWords money to be there. And so the way that that works is they bid. So I'm not sure of exactly what this is costing someone, or Compass in this case, for me to click on this, but it's probably in the neighborhood of about $10 to $15 a click. So I click on that, it charges them. I'm not going to do it because I'm not a jerk, but they are going to get charged 15 bucks. So that's kind of expensive in my book. So I choose to do things that are a little bit smarter with, unless you've got a gigantic bank account, I don't recommend even trying to do SEO for a term like Newport Beach real estate. So who's first? Of the unpaid area, Zillow. You want to know how much Zillow spends on Google AdWords? I don't know, but I know it's in the millions. So Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, Trulia, these are all the big boys. So they're all here, and they are doing SEO. They have massive page rank websites. So Google ranks websites from, they call it a page rank, from 0 to 9. So Google's a 9. You know, your kid's little website project that he just created, that's a 0. Or even a lot of real estate websites, you know, realtor websites, when you first create it, you're going to have a 0 as well. So the things that improve PageRank are relevancy in your website towards various search terms and various topics, and also backlinks to your website. So a backlink is nothing more than having your website link listed on somebody else's website. It's what's known as a backlink. So it's important for us to optimize for the correct terms. So as realtors, we're never going to get, you know, to the top of the page for Newport Beach real estate. But an important first step for realtors is to optimize their website at least for your name, and you know, your name and realtor. Travis, do you have anything to comment there?
No, just there's one additional thing that a lot of people kind of forget about too, and that's the social signal.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is, you know, basically a page or maybe a blog post that is shared throughout multiple social media outlets. So they do also track that kind of stuff.
For sure.
So,
I will get into that in a
okay,
tiny
cool.
bit.
Okay.
Yeah, in a little bit when I go into the actual how do we do it.
Okay,
But
cool.
yeah, you're absolutely right. That's really, really key. A social backlink is the most important backlink of them all. So anyway, so realtors tend to think that they need to, if they're going to be doing search engine optimization, they tend to think, oh, I got to optimize my page for Newport Beach real estate if you're a Newport Beach realtor. However, the first step is to take control of your digital footprint as a realtor. Because like I said, it's a real uphill climb to try to, you know, be first on the list for Newport Beach real estate, or even homes for sale Newport Beach. It's the same story there. All the same guys are there, Compass and everybody else. Redfin, all of Sotheby's, Coldwell Banker. I mean, it's just the biggest of the big. So let's just not fight that fight. First of all, get control of your name, because what's going to happen is somebody hears about you as a realtor, they might want to Google you. In fact, a lot of times it's going to happen. And so you want to make sure that when somebody Googles your name and the word realtor, you control that space and your website pops up, your Facebook pops up, your Instagram, your Pinterest, all of your sites pop up. So my advice is to make sure that you're optimizing your website first and foremost for your name. Travis, would you agree with that at all?
I definitely agree with that. Get your info out there on as many sites as possible. It's something I definitely recommend for new agents too, but for agents that haven't done that yet, get your LinkedIn profile set up, get your Zillow profile set up and your Trulia and stuff like that, because that stuff does show up when it's your name plus realtor in the Google search.
For sure. So, and my advice is to have your information filled out completely on as many of those sites as possible. And even, other sites like Google, Google Plus is going away, but, all of the different, Yahoo, anywhere, everywhere. I've got a great list. If you send me an email and say, hey, send me the 50 best, business directory sites for realtors, I've got a nice list for you. In fact, it's in the Agent Resource Center. So get out there, fill out your information on as many websites as possible. And in most cases, you get to put a link back to your website. So again, you're going to be able to create so many different backlinks back to your website from these high profile, high PR websites. So super, super important. It's not hard to do. It takes a little bit of time, but get your information out there and link it back to your website. So that is SEO 101 for realtors. So how do we do it? So in our agent marketing dashboards, what we want to do is, at a minimum, go to our website, open up the options, and we want to go into the homepage design and theme settings area. And whoops, not there. There, I'm close. Okay, so in this theme settings, there's a little spot down here where we can have some custom scripts and so forth. Oh, whoops, I'm still not in the right spot. Sorry, guys. There's a spot where we can fill out our meta tags. So let me get to it. And there's a lot of different ways to do that in other kinds of websites. I build a lot of WordPress websites, and they make it really easy to optimize all of the different meta tags and all that kind of stuff. So the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you build pages about your particular farm. So in Marcella's case, she works Castaic. So you got to make sure that you have a website a web page within your site that has information about Castaic. So, and the way that we do that, of course, is we create our pages. And so the thing that really, really makes SEO powerful within a page is to create content, written content. And the more, the better. So, and I'm talking about 1,500 words of content, all about Castaic, all about selling real estate there, all about Marcella Kosin and me, and stories about me selling real estate. And you want it to read, of course, well, but the more content and written content, that's what Google pays attention to. They can't really, you want to make sure that your images are tagged and they have the right, alt tag on them. But the most important thing is that written content. And once you have good written content, you also want to do links to other websites. So in our, obviously, Alta Realty Group is doing the same thing with our marketing. So we're marketing for, 100% commission real estate. So when we type that in, of course, there are all kinds of advertisements. And who's number one in SEO? We are, because we did it right. So let's just take a look at why this ranks so well. So first of all, we have our keyword phrase in the URL right there. We also have it listed at the very first thing on the page, and it's bold and it's a larger font. So in this case, it's a H1 tag font, which you don't really need to know, but it's good to understand that H1 is the largest heading font, and you want to have your keyword phrase in that heading font. So those are the very first important rules in SEO. Second, we want to have it as in the first paragraph. So we've got it again. We've got the same exact variation or a keyword phrase here. The other thing you want to do is vary the keyword phrases. So you don't always want to have 100% commission real estate brokers. You want to have 100% real estate brokerage. You want to have variations on the keyword. Then you also want to have links to other websites. So here we've got links to searches. We've got links to other related topics. So these are all hyperlinks going, and you notice that these are going to take the reader off of the page. And so a lot of internet marketers say, how could you do that? Well, it allows Google to look at our page and say, hey, these guys aren't afraid to send people to other information that's relevant. Because really that's what Google wants, is to create relevant information for its viewers. So we're just helping Google, and Google rewards us for that. Travis, do you have anything to comment there?
So something that I do with that, because that's always a fear, is taking people off your page. As you're writing your blog or your page or whatever, if you're going to link something, let's say you're talking about, maybe you have a sentence in there about energy rating, and you can link the word energy rating to like a Wikipedia page or something like that about energy ratings. And, that's going to be a pretty safe page to take someone off of, or to send them to, because, they're not advertising other realtors on there and stuff like that. So, obviously you're not trying to link anything over to Zillow or something like that where they can have other realtors in front of their face.
For sure. So that's a very good point. It's okay to send someone away from your page, but don't send them to a competitor.
Yeah.
and the other thing is when you create a link, you can make sure that link pops up in a new tab. That way your website is still open on their computer. So really, really important. These are real. I know we're going fast, but remember, we're going to have the replay on this, guys. And so you can definitely go back on the replay. It's really, really important information. So moving on, another really good, this is a new kind of technique that I've been using, and it's really working well, is to create a question and answer page within the website, within that page. And the reason that this is so important is because what do people do all the time now? They talk into their phone. They say, Siri, where's the best restaurant? Everybody's asking questions, or just general questions I do it all the time. Everybody does it. So if you, and Google picks up on this, they want to, if you've got good content, they're going to use your questions and answers in their question and answer areas. So really, really a great idea to just do, and it could be simple questions. It doesn't really matter, but it's also building content. So this particular page has a ton of content on it. These images, you notice when I hover over them, they're alt tagged with 100% commission real estate brokers. So everything on this page is so geared towards that. So, and so one thing to be careful of, though, is what is known as keyword stuffing. So that means that you are, and back in the old days of SEO, all we had to do was put that keyword phrase a couple hundred times ridiculously throughout a page. We would even build pages that were white background and had white text. You didn't even see the stuff, but Google still picked up on it and it ranked us. So we all had all these crazy little tricks. Google finally figured them out. And so now if you have that keyword phrase too many times, you actually are penalized. So I think the rule of thumb for keyword phrases is no more than 3% of the content should have that exact keyword phrase. Now, it's a great idea, of course, to have all kinds of different variations, and it's got to be natural. So, gone are the days of us just, obnoxiously mentioning a keyword phrase throughout a a page. So there's a little bit of a balance there. So of course, we do have our chat feature. Does anybody have any questions about that? I know that this is pretty high level stuff that we're getting into, but really important. So moving on, because I don't see any questions, you can do pay per click. So the two different ways to get your website, to get traffic to your website is to, one, be SEO optimized, so your website is there by its own merit. The other, of course, is to pay Google. So if you are going to pay Google, the best thing to do is never do anything like, I'm going to bid on the term home for sale Newport Beach. If anything, pick the farm or pick the specific area that that home is going to be in, and you're at least going to spend a lot less on those keyword phrases. Plus, it's not a bad idea to do a very small budget with Google AdWords, because you can show that to your sellers, and you can say, this is one of the things that I do to get your listing noticed. But you can set that budget for, you know, $20 a month, and it just is not going to get shown as much as, you know, if you're spending the big bucks. It's going to obviously just be shown less. So that would be my advice if you are going to go that direction and you want to spend a tiny bit with Google AdWords. So the other thing is doing SEO for small markets, you know, doing SEO pages for particular little areas. So in this example, you know, this is, people would definitely type in recent listings in Benicia, and Water's End is a particular community within Benicia. So notice that nobody's bidding on these terms. And ARGhome.net, our website, is on that spot. And this particular phone number goes to Larissa. So another really good little technique is to make sure that you have your phone number in this Google search results area. Because sometimes people just want to go, you know what, I'm not even going to click on this. I'm just going to go ahead and call this girl. So another thing that you can do, and Larissa has done this, is you can create YouTube videos, and YouTube videos are very easy to rank on Google because Google owns YouTube, and YouTube is one of Google's largest revenue producers. So they are very apt to push your YouTube videos onto their search results page. So let's just click on this real quick. So this is Larissa's little video, and she has optimized it. Let's see how she's optimized it. So her keyword phrase in this particular example is Water's End Benicia listings and her phone number. Nice work. Then in the content of this area, she's got all kinds of stuff, and you got to change this out, Larissa, to the new one. But all this stuff has to do with Benicia, has to do with recent listings. And then here's a little just stuff about Benicia, the city. Benicia is Bay Area located adjacent to, you know, it's got all kinds of stuff that talks about Benicia. Water's End is a popular upscale neighborhood. So we're really doing a micro-target SEO. So in your neighborhood and in your farms, I would love to see all of you agents creating YouTube videos for each of the different areas. You could do a YouTube video for each of the developments in your farm. And that's an easy thing to target because people, so here's the thing. Newport Beach real estate obviously has tons of traffic, but the competition is way too high to get there and it's expensive. These micro-targeted, what we call long-tailed keyword phrases are much easier to optimize for. They're much easier to do Google AdWords for. They have less traffic, but the traffic is highly targeted. So somebody that's doing a Google search for, you know, Woodwind Apartments or something to that effect, they're really looking for Woodwind Apartments. They want to be there. So you can use that in your websites, and you can create pages and pages of content that are about these different communities. What you're doing there is you're building a net behind your website, and Google continues to trip over that net when people are searching for things like real estate in a particular area. Travis, do you have anything to add there?
Just that this is the only way I have found to beat Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, all those guys at their own game, basically, because like you said before, there's no competing with, Newport Beach real estate. I mean, just get it out of your head. It's not going to happen, unless you're paying big bucks for it.
Yeah.
But, organic SEO, I mean, it's not going to happen. So going with the long tail keywords, it's less expensive on the pay-per-clicks, and you have a much better chance. I mean, look she's on the first page twice for this, and it's an area that she probably loves to work. She knows it well, and people that are searching this are probably going to be a better lead because they know what they want.
Absolutely.
So there's actually just a lot of benefits to doing the long tail keywords, in my
For
opinion,
sure.
trying to rank for, the big boys.
Yeah. So with that said, we're coming to the close of our webinar today, but I encourage you all to schedule an appointment with me and go to our Calendly link, and because this is really important stuff and stuff that I love working on. So I don't mind spending time with you guys. This is, the things that I absolutely enjoy doing. Creating videos, optimizing pages, and consulting you guys on correct SEO. I love it. I've been doing SEO since about 2001. And so I've seen it come. I've seen all the changes. And so I'm definitely a good person to ask about it. So Travis, thank you so much for your insight. Really appreciate it. Bill, really appreciate you coming on the webinar as usual. There you are, Bill.
Of course. Yeah, that was really good, Kevin. It's very interesting to get refreshed on this stuff.
Yep. Like I told you, I could talk for 9 hours on this topic because it's a very deep topic, but it's so important. So glad you enjoyed it, Bill. And realtors, get out there, make it a great day, make it a very, very good week, and we'll see you next week on the webinar. Thanks so much for joining.